So the video, I guess we kind of talked before about it. It was basically about how it was more of a taking a fight over a flight approach, like fight, hide, run, instead of the, I guess, more traditional run, hide, fight. And the first question would be is, um, like, what do you think about this method?
Well, I guess I'll answer the question this way. The sheriff's office does a lot of active shooter training. We do it for all the schools in the Amara City School District. We've expanded that into the Horsehead School District. We do it for all countywide agencies, and we do it for faith-based organizations and any other businesses that contact us for that type of training. We have adopted and we stick with the federal, state, and local model, which is the run, hide, fight method. We feel that that is probably the most appropriate position to take with regard to that type of situation should it arise. There's a lot of different philosophies out there. I'm not saying that one is any better than the other one. We feel that based on the consistency of this practice being taught and being taught from the federal level down, that this is the most appropriate one for us to adopt and utilize.
And so say like, the news station, we hear gunfire, under attack. What should we immediately try to do, and what would your guys' strategy be if once you obviously heard about it?
So I think we saw this even in Maine. You think about a lot of businesses, whether it's a diner, unfortunately a bowling alley where that tragedy occurred, at least one of the locations. A lot of people learn these things early on in life, and they were taking proactive measures to lock themselves in place. They weren't running because they weren't sure where the shooter or shooters were. They were locking in, securing the location that they're at, and getting out of sight, which is often a good plan of attack. Should somebody come and breach a secure location, then you have to be prepared to do what you have to do. But we feel that that's probably the best last measure, and not to initiate or engage somebody, especially if you're not equipped to do so properly. So in the question that you asked, if that were to happen locally, we would expect most businesses are gonna, as soon as they get wind of it, if it's close by to where they are, they're gonna lock down, shut down, and wait until they get further information from law enforcement when it's safe to kind of resume normal activity.
And if there is an active shooter, what's your guys' like immediate first thing that you guys do to try and stop it?
Yeah, well, listen, Columbine changed the world of active shooters, and I know that was specific to a school, but it's adopted in any form whatsoever. If an active shooter is reported, law enforcement's going. We're not waiting for a SWAT team to get there. We're not waiting for 2 or 3 officers to get there, especially in the school setting. If it is a school setting, the first law enforcement officer on scene is going to seek out and engage that threat. That is their job.
Um, do you think that this is not a method that has obviously been traditionally, I guess, told or taught to kids growing up? Do you think it's something like unexpected, I guess? I guess the difference it is with the typical run, hide, fight. Do you think it's going to change people's thought process by hearing it, and like it'll take them by surprise, or do you think it is something that's just a different strategy?
With regard to what, somebody putting fight first to
Yeah,
an active
yeah.
shooter? Well, listen, I would just say this. I always encourage people. I've overseen the pistol permit process since 2006. Some people have familiarity with firearms, some have none whatsoever. We always encourage them, get exposure to as many things as you can, and then make your decision based on the information that you're provided. I think we have to be very cautious in what we educate the public to do, especially if people aren't mentally able to maybe adopt a certain philosophy or physically able to carry it out if they do so. Um, you know, Even in the run, hide, fight, common sense tells you if you can get away from a bad thing without any involvement, instinct and common sense are going to tell us get away from it. Just go somewhere and find a place that's safe. If we know that we can't do that safely, a lot of us are going to hide and hope that that threat passes by and just hunker down until We know that law enforcement's on there, secure the scene, and we can get out. I don't think there's anybody in, you take Flight 93 during the 9/11 attacks. When that flight group learned what was happening with those other planes, they had to make a conscious decision because they knew what the ultimate outcome was going to be. They were going to die. So if you know you're going to die, or there's a good chance you're going to die, you should at least go down fighting. But I'm not so sure that's always a good thing to put first, because law enforcement and military personnel are trained to run toward those dangers, that action. They have the equipment, they have the training, they have the mindset. Asking other bodies of people, whether it's young kids, older, unless they absolutely have to, I would probably strongly discourage it. I just don't know that you would get the outcome that you'd be hoping for. Again, if you're in a situation where you're hiding and now somebody's breaching that door, you've got a life or death decision to make, and that's when you prepare to do everything that you have to do to make sure that you come out of that okay.
I guess I know it's kind of a topic-based thing, but is there anything else you'd want to add about this whole thing, whether it's fight or flight or anything like that?
No, I guess just from our perspective, we would just reiterate that this is the federal, state, and local model. It's been in place for quite some time. I think it is a very easy model for people to adopt, to understand, and to execute. That is what we are putting out there when we do these trainings, and this is what we will continue to put out there should we get requested to do any additional trainings.
Thank you, Sheriff. I appreciate
You're
your
very
time.
welcome.